Hi and welcome to my PlayHouse, and today we are gonna talk about cryptocurrency mining, and well, I'll get into that, but before that I have to remind everybody that today is International Tinfoil Hat Day. So I of course have my my tinfoil hat right here. So if you just put your tinfoil hat on, I hope you look as good as me. So, well, just a reminder about that. I have gotten a lot of questions about what I use my servers for over the years, and I must admit I probably haven't been 100% honest about that. The truth is that I do quite a bit of, well, it's not only bitcoins right now, but it's cryptocurrency mining. It used to just be bitcoins, but well, I kind of do most of them right now. You never know which one is gonna come out on top, but I really do a lot of cryptocurrency mining. Actually, I think I do about 13.2% of the total cryptocurrency mining in the world without even breaking a sweat. It's actually running on that server right now. Oh, it's outside of view, isn't it? Oh, you can see that. But 13.2% of the world's cryptocurrency mining is happening on that server right now. It's the awesomely novel X3650 Model 3 currently. Also playing with the Model 4, but well, I have been mining cryptocurrency for quite a bit. As any other dude, I started out with graphics cards. This one worked well for a bit, not very long though. To mine cryptocurrency, well, you need some CPUs. You don't need very powerful CPUs, you just need a lot of them. And it's not really CPUs that you need. You don't need a core, you just need some calculation stuff. So, well, these became obsolete really quick. It was like a year or 1.5 years where you could really benefit from graphics cards. Nowadays, well, they are more or less slowly calculating headers. So I moved away from that long ago, and I don't think there is anyone that does it the same way as me anymore. I picked this up from another dude, but the truth is that memory. You need memory to calculate, and you don't just need any kind of memory. You need ECC memory. ECC stands for Error Correcting Code memory, which means that the memory blocks can error correct themselves. If you put something in this memory, or if it's in the server and stuff, and try to read that again, the memory will check if you're getting the right data when it sends it to the CPU. It does that very efficiently. Inside a block like this, for every 64 kilobytes of memory, there is a feature that is able to check that 64 kilobytes if that is correct. It does that by doing some checksum calculations on that, and that is exactly the same that is being done when you are calculating bitcoins and cryptocurrency, except it's the other way around, but the calculations are similar. So for every 64 kilobytes in a memory block like this, you more or less have a little calculator that can do the calculations. This block is only 4 gigabytes, so it's not that big, but over here I have some 16 gigabyte memory blocks. These are of course not the biggest you can get, but well, they're the ones that I'm using right now. And inside a 16 gigabyte memory block, well, if you divide that up into 64 kilobyte blocks, you actually come up with that you have 262,144 calculators in there ready to do the calculations and check if the memory is right. You just need to control those in the right way to do some other calculations. So when we do cryptocurrency calculations, we actually get the result. Like, this is the result, and the task is really to come up with all the different strings of data that can be encrypted down into that result, and that is why you need so much calculations. there's a lot of data strings that will end up being that result, but well, only one of them is the one that is the correct one. So you might be sending in 100 results, and then, well, you're just the lucky one that got the right one. So you're really testing a lot of different scenarios, and the more scenarios you can push through, well, the bigger a chance you have of actually hitting the right one. And well, you just have to push a lot of data through, and ECC memory mining is great for that, because in just we have one here, one of these 16 gigabyte blocks, we can check out 262,000 for the right result in every about second clock cycle. It doesn't take much, and that is in just the 64 kilobytes data areas. I've actually figured out how to improve on that, but I'm not gonna share that, but I'm gonna share how to do that with the 64 kilobytes. So a memory block like this, I would just like to compare that with about the fastest graphics card on the market, and at the moment that's the GeForce GTX 1080 Ti. I don't know, I've been out of the graphics card market for quite a bit, but a graphics card like that has 3,584 cores, CUDA cores, so they can do 3,584 results every, yeah, they probably take a few clock cycles as well, plus the frequency of that graphics card is actually lower than this piece of memory, so you get a little bit more frequency in a memory block like this. This is 1866 megahertz. I believe that graphics card is down at 1.5 gigahertz something. So in this memory block, the way that I'm using it, well, the normal one you would get 264,000 calculating ECC cores. That's like at least 400 times faster than that graphics card. But there is really no reason to take up 64 kilobytes. That the ECC correcting chip takes 64 kilobyte blocks, but the data itself is only 512 bytes. So instead of just only putting 512 bytes into that 64 kilobyte block, well, you can just put them beside each other, like blop, 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 and it will just calculate the whole thing. That means that a memory block like this will actually do 33,555,432 calculations per second clock cycle. And well, the memory doesn't even get hot. You can put many of these blocks in the server like that, so that's why I'm doing so much. I could do a lot more. I see no reason why. I am all good. I am often asked how much power my server uses. I don't care. I'm laughing all the way to the bank. Well, there is different RAM too. This block is divided into 64 kilobytes. I actually have this Kingston memory here. They are also 16 gigabyte blocks, but Kingston cheated out on these blocks, and the calculating bits inside of the blocks of these memory, there's a lot of them. There is 50 in this case. Oh, I have used some. So instead of checking every 64 kilobytes, these blocks are actually checking block sizes of 32 kilobytes. That is actually not a good thing when you're trying to use this in a server, but it's a great thing when you want to do ECC memory mining. That means that in these blocks there are the double amount of ECC memory error correcting calculators, which means that these blocks has about 524,244 error correcting calculators inside of them. So these blocks will do twice as much as these blocks, but well, if you divide them up into 512 bytes, well, it doesn't matter. So if you have a server that uses ECC memory and want to get into this ECC memory cryptocurrency mining, well, I'm at a point where I don't think I need to make any more on this. I'll keep up. I'm gonna keep it to myself how you divide up those 64 kilobyte blocks. But but in the description of this video I'm gonna be leaving you some links to the software that you need to do this. You need to tell the memory to not just check the data that is on the RAM blocks. It needs to do the calculations instead, and there is instructions on how to and it's also a good idea to be a part of a mining pool, because it's a bit harder to actually get a whole blockchain for yourself. I have made this so that it runs on VMware. Because of the way that VMware works with the memory, you can actually talk to the memory more directly than you can normally. The hypervisor does this really simple, but of course you're not able to virtualize the memory even though it's on a VM. You have to reserve all the memory that you give that VM. But links in the description for where to download the virtual machine, and well, it just needs a lot of RAM. So now I have revealed my big secret. So if you join me over at Patreon and donate $1 million when you earned it, that would be nice. It actually doesn't matter, $1 million. That's a couple of hours work. Don't bother. Even as a cryptocurrency trillionaire, it's nice to have a few people over at Patreon. So if you have nothing better to do, you know. So well, I'm gonna end it here and just remind everybody again about this awesome hat day. I must say, I got the really cool one, but well, I can afford it. So thank you very much for watching my videos. Do subscribe to my channel so that you can see what hardware to go out and buy for your newly earned cryptocurrency, and have a really nice day. Bye bye. Description below.